Okay, it's booting up.
Now we are on.
So anyway, good morning, everyone. Hi,
Hi.
Marie, Hans, Marcia, somewhere in that
Yeah, she's coming.
void.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
I'm here.
Okay,
Great. Great to see you. Small group today, but exciting talk coming up, I think.
Yeah.
we shall
Huh?
see. We shall. I'm glad you're hopeful. That's because
Yeah.
you're in Europe, where hope is still a thing, unlike in this country. Okay.
Exactly.
It's still in the air.
I'm in
Okay.
Trump country where there is no hope. Let's see
So,
what stock market gyrations are in store for us today.
yeah, whatever that was said. Could you repeat that?
Let's see. Oh, please, you really want me to?
I'm not sure. I'll tell you after you repeat it.
Let us see what stock market gyrations are in store for us
Oh,
today and what
well,
tariff
right,
gyrations are in store for us. And then we'll see if we're happy in Trump country.
right, exactly. I know. It's
Am I
crazy.
living in the United States of America or the United States of mess?
Right. Okay.
Enough said.
So I have interesting things, exhibitions I haven't seen yet, but I was recommended. In
Okay.
Basel is a show about Medardo Rosso,
Okay.
which is very important for modern sculpture.
Yeah.
And I think it must be a very great show, what I hear.
Where is it?
In Basel, at the Kunstmuseum Basel.
Oh.
I want to go there at one point and see it. They have also a very, very wonderful website which explains a lot already. Maybe I can show maybe some
Sure.
of it.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Can you
Medardo Rosso.
So,
It's really well done, the website of the Kunstmuseum Basel. It's also in English. And maybe I share the screen for a moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I go through it, and we can.
That would be wonderful, Hans.
Let
and
me
then
see.
maybe I'll buy a ticket to Basel.
Yeah.
You know, with regard to museum shows, is the Turner watercolor exhibition still up at Yale?
Yes. So July 27th.
Okay. I'm going to call you about doing that. I'd like to go see that.
Oh, I must see it.
Do you see that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see
That's beautiful.
I just flipped first about, they show a little bit like all over thing, but you get an idea of the show. I think they put other artists in connection to the show, to his work, and he was influential to Rodin, to all these people, to modern sculpture.
It looks like a Degas.
Even the Degas here.
That's Degas for sure.
So it's very interesting.
Oh, and that's Villon, Jacques Villon, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
What is the name of the artist, please, Hans?
Medardo Rosso.
Oh.
I send you then the link.
Okay.
You see, he made like these beautiful heads, and and so you see they make connection to Cézanne, to Rodin, to all these people, and so.
Who is this his? With the man, the big.
I don't know. Could be. I don't know. Or is it something? Maybe it's I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
I wonder
but you see, Medardo Rosso inventing sculpture. It's a very nice. I just, you can go then by yourself to the website, but there's a really nice. You see, they put. Linda Bengli, Constantine Brancusi, Edgar Degas, David Hammond, Eva Hesse, Meret Oppenheim, Auguste Rodin, and then Sapotnikov, I can't say that. But it's a lot of text you can read on the website. I think it's really greatly, you see, it's amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
Robert Gober is in this show.
Wow.
Kusama, Sarah Filiger. Hannah Filiger is a Swiss artist. Francesca Woodman, Kazakh.
I mean, even Paul Feck, who is not super well known, but it's interesting that he would be included.
Odile Remme, Pamela Rosenkrantz is Swiss artist.
Francesca Woodman.
Weiss, you know, Fischli Weiss, Gonzalez Torres.
Yeah.
So you see.
Oh gosh, that is
Robert Gober.
Yeah, that's a Robert Gober.
That's wild.
Emanuel Hoffmann Stiftung is, you know, Hoffmann.
I love this. This is so fabulous.
You know what's cool about it, Marcia? Hans, don't go. Wait. Don't scroll back down. Yeah. Is that the hair on the chest, right, and on the abdomen is actually real hair. It's human hair.
Really?
So, it really is.
How
like
it's
painstakingly assembled, you know, hair by hair.
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh my God. Who was the lucky victim? Probably him.
I don't know. But you see, it's a lot of information. There is even a movie. I think the movie is not very. We can watch it for a moment. It's only 9 seconds.
Oh,
Hans, what makes him the father of modern sculpture?
I didn't. You know, I'm not expert on him. But I think you can just read this then.
I love that piece. I just love that piece.
So what you see is that they have even a room ground floor. It's a lot of. You see, in '95, art critic Ludwig Hevesi described Medardo Rosso as a creator of a kind of photo sculpture, alluding to the evanescent, blurred qualities of his forms. You know what I'm saying? So if you read these things here, you have incredible information. This is a wonderful website. Look at this.
Yeah.
You can look at this repetition and variation. If you read that, you are well informed about it. It's really great website.
Kunstmuseum Basel.
Sorry?
Kunstmuseum Basel.
Yeah, I send you the link. You find it. So there is a lot of text you can read. Look, each room has a description. You see that not even the MoMA makes that.
Please,
right.
Please send us the link, or
I will.
Yeah, thank you.
It's just kunstmuseumbasel.ch. But so you see that it's amazing what they are. It's everything is here. It's absolutely great. I think it's really a wonderful thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Up here you see Kunstmuseum Basel. That's the you see that?
Yeah.
So .ch, that's .ch for Switzerland. Kunstmuseum Basel in one word, .ch.
Okay,
right.
Got it.
Okay. So this is really a wonderful thing, and I want to see then the show. And I'm stop sharing right now, so we can.
Great.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. That's a nice show, big show.
Exactly. Yeah. And worth looking at the website actually, because it's so much information about it. It's really great. So if you've missed the show, at least you have a lot of things to read.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of. There were shows in New York of his work.
Oh, really?
Over the years. I'm trying to remember where a big exhibition may have been, but I can't remember.
I can even imagine Mark, that this show will come to USA.
You have to see.
So interesting, probably done that it will travel around.
It probably will.
Oh, really?
But they don't always come to New York, necessarily.
Yeah.
They might go to, San Francisco. You don't know, and then back to Europe. You just don't know.
Yes.
It just depends on scheduling and stuff like that.
Insurance and whatever.
Because Mary was asking, about why was he imported. When I read this thing about the photographer, what he said, that he so-called like this blurredness.
Yeah.
That's it's very interesting. This is so modern in a way.
It might
that is way before Gerhard Richter came with his blur thing. I'm sure Gerhard Richter was also knowing about that. You know what I'm saying? And it's referring somehow.
Well, it probably had something to do with Impressionism too, and the fact that there was a break, from the academy and from academic approaches and academic, rules.
But according to the dates, it was 1905. I saw fleetingly. Was that when he started working?
I don't know. I actually don't know. But I'm just guessing that it had something to do with just speed and breaking up forms that were
as part of that.
Just
part of the zeitgeist.
Emotional thing is it's not an academical approach to
expressionistic
the figure and I'm saying about measurement and proportions which have to be right. There is something else going on, and that's modernism already. That you have a personal feeling.
And also just leaving the imprinteur of the sculptor himself, of the artist. In other words, the work, the hand, and therefore the material. So whereas before all of that stuff was, kind of made invisible, in the right, so it became expressive again. Material became, part of the equation as an essence, as a thing in itself, and that led into 20th century and modernism and just all of those concerns. Yeah, it sounds very good, very interesting.
Yeah, take some photos. We'd love to see it.
Well, let's get a ticket to Basel.
So back to this. So my friend Alex sent me this image. It was up for, I think, auction at Sotheby's. Do you know who it is? This is an artist that we've sort of discovered or rediscovered. We've looked at a lot of his work in the last, couple of months.
Is this our quiz?
It's a quiz, if you like.
It somehow it harks harks to the 30s, to the 1930s, 40s.
Right. I think it might be a little earlier than that, but I'm not
sure.
I think.
Could be with the waves in the hair and the stilted beginnings of Art Deco.
Right.
I don't know. I'm quite at a loss. I love the background.
I do too.
We looked at lots of paintings sometime, right?
Yeah.
In the previous.
Hold on.
It's probably Karl.
That's right. So it's Karl. Right?
Right.
No.
Yeah, it's Karl Hofer.
Yeah.
It's Karl Hofer, whose work we've looked at.
Oh,
Yes.
oh.
So this work, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's probably earlier than the 30s, but he did live till, I'm looking at his Wikipedia page right now. He died in 1955. So, you know, you could have been painted at that, you know, in the 30s. I don't know. But it's definitely, I would say, 20s, 30s. You know, maybe, I don't know. But I think it's beautiful. I mean, it refers to Picasso in some ways.
Yeah. It has like a very quiet, serene feel. It's beautifully done.
The colors are kind of exquisite.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
I mean, that red, just pulling that red out of all of the other much more, you know, complex and broken colors is really kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the reds in here, you know, and that deep, you know, you know, alizarin, let's say, crimson, that deeper crimson is really
alizarin crimson and some sort of dark carmine red. Are you talking about the red shirt?
Yeah, the red shirt.
That's a very dark red.
Yeah. But the eye, you know, sort of, and the hair.
Very stylized. Very
stylized. At least refer somehow to Picasso for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked on April the 10th.
Oh.
Yeah, you made the presentation of him, Karl Hofer. On
We looked at
April the 10th.
Work, yeah.
You find it in YouTube. Yeah, you find this film in YouTube. April 10th.
So Marie, just with regard to, you know, your painting and the work that we looked at earlier, you can see how a more subtle palette, you know, with more closer relationships, how that can really work for you, particularly in this. How this is, look at the gray on the shadow, the shaded, how effective that is.
Yes, Mark, you said it was at Sotheby's or what?
I think so.
And did it fetch not enough for?
I don't know. I don't think the auction has taken place yet.
Ah, okay. Because there was an article in the New York Times about the auction that the thing fell completely up. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there were very bad results for very famous stuff, which were just not going anywhere, you know. Yeah. There was an article about it. Yeah.
I wonder how sales have been in the auction houses of late. You know, because the art market goes according to the economy.
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if people are pulling back or just scared or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know, really. I mean, other than murmurings that I've heard about, you know, the art market not being in great shape, that you know, the big investors have dried up.
Because there's so much uncertainty.
Yeah, exactly. I think people aren't willing to, you know, make those kinds of investments that are highly speculative.
Yeah. I can certainly understand that.
I didn't really hear what you said about Picasso's. They weren't selling, you were saying, that you read? They weren't selling it high
Not
price.
Picasso's.
No, it was not Picasso. It was different people.
Okay.
Which was, let's say, priced for 20 million, and it fetched only 3 million instead of 20.
So you know, they have a reserve. So yeah, they pull it off if they don't get their money. Because there are all kinds of fees when you put it up for auction. Mm-hmm. It's a buyer's premium, a seller's premium, the house premium.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rarefied atmosphere. What else you got?
So we can be lucky not to be from one of these artists.
Oh,
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get 20 million, but you get 3 million. I would settle for that. I really love this painting.
What else?
The hair is very nice.
Yeah, I like the hair too.
Well, you know, as I said before, I uploaded some of my own work, but I sort of wanted, if we're going to do this live, I would, you know, rather do it in a more organized fashion.
Yeah.
I just threw some stuff up there.
Yeah, no, let's do it more organized. And,
Can we see the sergeant stuff if you have it?
Oh, okay. Let me see if, let's do that.
But still,
I think
Mark,
we've
you
this.
could still give, let's say, a little glimpse of what maybe one of the next sessions will reveal of your work, because we need to a little bit have an idea what you're doing, and you know.
Oh my goodness!
Look at this, yeah. Hey.
Oh my goodness!
Well,
oh my goodness! This is like a tease of what's to come. This is wonderful, Mark. Oh, this is wonderful.
Love it.
Just gorgeous. There's a collage in there too, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Mark, this is glorious. Really, it is.
Well, thank you.
When did you do that, Mark? It's
a few months ago.
Okay.
You got to get yourself from under the wraps you have on your work. Got to get out there. This is gorgeous, Mark.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you.
Yeah,
really.
it's very luminous.
I love about this is I love the angles that you use on the bottom.
Yeah.
And kind of anchors it. And then I love how free your brushstrokes are, and the dimension and the color. It's just beautiful.
It's stepping into an ethereal room.
Yeah.
An ethereal room in the brain that's also part of the atmosphere. This is just a wonderful painting.
Yes, it's this inside outside.
Yeah.
You know, you could be like in a closed room, but you are actually outside.
You're somewhere up in the clouds, but yet you're grounded.
I like the piece very much.
Oh, it's fabulous, Mark. Really, really, kudos to you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I mean, I you know, denying us of the pleasure of seeing your work is a sin. It's a mortal and venal sin.
No, I haven't been, you know, painting that much recently, so I'm a little bit, you know,
reticent.
Yeah, a little bit, I'd say.
Don't you dare say that.
Show another one.
Yeah, I'll show you another one. Let's see.
And then we can re-see it again, hopefully.
Pull the bacon through our mouth.
You've seen a bunch of these.
Oh my goodness. Oh, goodness gracious.
Mark, how big is this?
This is about, you know, 4 feet by 5 feet, something like that.
I love it.
God, this is, it's wonderful. And again, the collage.
Yes.
Of, what is that, scraps of canvas or tin or what?
Those are really, really old pieces of distressed, painted, ripped cardboard that have that just accumulate in my studio. Mishaps, you know, just part of the
process,
the language, part of the process, just scraps that I pieced together. I mean, I used to have, they're diminishing. These are, actually smallish pieces because I'm not as robust about using cardboard, but I used to have a lot of it around, and so these are these are the remaining scraps of my studio practice. I still have them, but I used to have big. They're getting smaller as I use them.
Are they thin pieces?
Yeah.
They're thin.
Yeah, it's just one layer of paper. The corrugation has been removed. So that whole layering, of corrugated cardboard.
Yeah,
that center corrugated wavy stuff has all been eliminated a long time ago. And these have been used on paintings, ripped off, painted, and so on and so forth.
We're talking about Recycling Heaven.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful title for this painting.
I like it. I like it. I just made a note of it.
Mark, this is wonderful.
I really love how you have this combination of having very interesting like your lines are very geometric, and yet everything else is it's a great combination of being hard and soft at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love your sense of balance also, the way that you put those papers up there. It's very balanced and sculptural and interesting, and just the way also that you have, that you can, the way you paint with so much depth. I feel like flying through this painting, and there's so many really beautiful elements.
Thanks.
These are arrows in the sky.
Arrows or arrows?
It could be either one. It could definitely be either one. In fact, I like arrows in the sky better.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also unexpected. Unexpected.
Unexpected, yeah.
Yeah, in a way. I like this unexpected.
Unexpected arrows.
It's
or arrows unexplained, arrows unexpected.
It's nice.
This is also a wonderful painting, and I see that you have pink in there. I see that you have like this yellow in there. Kudos, my dear. Kudos for opening up your palette.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
Finally.
It
took 50 years, but eventually.
I don't know.
Mark, these are the wonderful paintings. Just
Thanks.
Really, really wonderful.
Thank you.
There's just
one more. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Also, a marvelous blend of the straight and narrow, if you will, and this kind of cloud-like atmospheric otherness.
Yeah.
It's grounded, it's up in the sky.
Right.
This one to me feels like that darker image on top could be a bird kind of flying.
Yeah.
It kind of has that feel that we're up in the clouds and we're kind of gliding, and it's just that form. It's really beautiful.
Dreamer.
Right. But there is the ground too. There's the material, the rent material, the ripped material, which and the complete, emptiness of space, just light, pure reflection and light. So that's sort of what, the themes are anyway.
Beautiful.
But still, I see also geological.
Yeah.
Geological things going on. So it's similar to that other painting, which is inside outside. You have it is light and geological. It's always something, opposites put together.
I always remember.
I
always remember this quote, and I don't know it, literally. I mean, accurately, but Henry Moore, that was attributed to Henry Moore, who said, he'd be, carving the stone or, with a hammer and a chisel or whatever, and it would break through. And he would say, the shock of seeing the sky through the stone.
Yeah.
I've always thought of that.
That's interesting.
Relationship between.
Yeah, that's very obvious here in a way.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, my dear, come out of the closet, bring all your stuff out of the closet, and get yourself a show, man. These are gorgeous.
Will do.
Please.
Yes.
Please. And have an opening in the city and we'll all come.
Okay. So you just want to come for the
wine.
For the drinks, right?
Yeah, oh sure.
It's gonna be cheap. It's gonna be the worst rot gut.
Rot gut. I love that word.
Good one.
No cheese, but I'll have the wine.
Mark, how do you figure out, like, when you incorporate the collage pieces, do you paint, like, what's the process? Do we want to wait for next session when you have more, or can I just?
We could talk about that.
Okay.
But I'll put together a larger,
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that.
We can talk about that just briefly. It's, the collage element, it's malleable and it's part of the process.
Okay.
Painting in, painting out, adding paper, ripping it off, adding it again if necessary, painting over it, ripping it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's variations within a
theme.
Within a theme, within a practice, within a, in other words, within a language. So I know that I can take paper. I know I can glue it on. I know I can rip it off. I know I can repaint, so it's until something starts happening, until I find what the painting is, I mean, there's a lot of themes that are defined, in terms of color, line, soft line, hard line, architecture, space, all those things are just are possibilities. They're all somehow defined, but yet they're completely fluid at the same time.
So what, like your process, so say you're painting this painting, do you know what you want to paint, or you're like, do you know where the lines?
I never know.
I'm
always completely almost
groping in the dark. You're groping in the dark.
Always. I'm just, I walk outside all the time and I'm just constantly in awe of stuff, just what I'm looking at, right? And it's usually, the sky, okay, I admit. But it could be anything, I mean, I just like looking at stuff. And it's in a way, it's intimidating. It's intimidating because it's always so beautiful and so perfect and so nuanced and so everything. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So then I come into the studio and I go, oh, gee.
Jesus Christ, what am I going to do now?
Yeah. How do I even begin? But I'm used to that. So I begin, I'm used to that sort of intellectual or, whatever.
You know what it is, Mark? I think it's a sense of wonder.
Yeah, it's wonder. It is.
It's a sense of wonder that somehow has a way of washing over you and feeling inadequate to express the sense of wonder until you start the work.
That's right.
It takes you wherever it takes you. But
absolutely. That's right.
It's like you can't really explain it adequately except trying to apprehend a sense of wonder.
Yeah. Yeah, it has a lot to do with that. It has a lot to do with
that. But it's so intimidating.
Yeah.
It's just intimidating,
It is. But you have to know at this point, that there's a way to there's a way to enter. There's a way to enter a painting, a way to enter And that's just by doing it. And
Yeah.
you know,
Well, that's sort of what I'm asking you is
yeah.
how you enter, you know, and
I
guess
usually enter with, sketching with,
so
somehow.
you
Well,
sketch
sketching on the canvas with a brush.
sketching on the canvas.
Yeah.
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 And just playing with it, trying to, get something, create something that's present, that, uh,
That you, the artist, is satisfied with.
yeah, something that with which, one has an identification. So I'm talking about personally me.
Yeah.
Just something that, yeah, that
Resonates.
pulls me in. And then it has a life of its own. You're
Yeah.
inside the material, you're inside of the process, you're enjoying it, and it's frustrating, you're changing it, so on and so forth. It's the process. I don't
It's
know.
the process.
What do you think? Does that sound familiar?
Very familiar, and it's no fun until it's finished somehow, or you can't look at it anymore because you're so sick of it. And somehow it's done.
You're right.
Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to work on 2 or 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
When that thing overwhelms you. But entering the painting is still so problematic for me. And you just learn by doing, and you just have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And then the world interferes, and then you're taken away by some other obsession. It's really, it's just a tough thing, but it's something you have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't explain it any other ways. Is it fun? No, it's not fun.
Well, it can be. Of course it is.
It can be.
It has its moments, let's say.
Yes, there are moments.
I take sometimes a glass of white wine and the painting becomes better.
That is such a good that's such good advice, Hans. Really.
But then the next morning, you go that I think it's not good. But it felt good. It felt good.
Yes.
The wine is good.
Enter painting.
But sometimes it feels also good the next morning, and then that's really good.
That's when you know it's good. How do you enter the painting?
Oh,
you.
Yeah, the same way. I it depends. I mean, I worked a lot intuitively, a long time, intuitive, and
what's that word?
Intuitive.
Intuitive. How do you say?
Intuitively.
My pronunciation is wrong. And so you, as Mark says, or you start and something develops and you see something. I worked a long time like that. But when I do maybe something which I'm taking from a photograph, it's a different process,
Right.
because then I have already something in front of me, and then I have to make a decision. Do I want to really paint that thing, or are I going more with the drawing type of approach? Then it's completely different, and and usually I like a little bit now more the drawing approach, because you need concentration, which I suffer not having, but so I have to force myself doing it, which is a good thing sometimes, because otherwise you lose it completely,
Yes.
I mean, I'm, and so, and sometimes it works out well. Sometimes I make then the painting just with one color, for instance.
Yeah.
Instead of several colors, so it's and so on. So I make these decisions, and that's how I enter the thing, But yeah, you have to. So I developed several types of entering that thing, because I got sick a little bit about always the same way, you understand? When I mean, in my case, it's more when I work intuitively, you know, like, and with colors which do, I see a lot of bad things, you know. Right. And so, you know, I don't see, Mark sees maybe more the beauty and the awe of, as he said, you know. But in my case, I see very bad stuff, you know. And I had a phase which I emphasized all these things. I see monsters. I see, you know, the body is something, not something nice. It's a monstrous, a monstrous machine which creates fears and angst and you know, and whatever, you know. So I see all these things, you know, and I had to stop doing certain approaches because, you know, you have to retrain your brain sometime also to have another view, you know.
But can I just ask you something now about that? Yes. When I first saw your paintings, which were I felt very disturbing, was that the period of time where you were at your greatest, where you sold the most, or were you focused on selling those things, or they appeal to the public?
Also, it did, yeah. Also, the thing is, yeah, my paintings at that time, you know, some collectors, you know, they said that was the greatest period I was in. And maybe I was, because it just did. It was a very painful period, actually. It was not fun, you know, but it came out, and I was able to form that thing into very compelling painting, which were very disturbing, you know, but you can't escape them, you know, you can't escape. You have to, but there is repulsion, you know, some people, I was, you know, I was even at one time on a gala in St. Moritz at the Kempinski, where there were like, you know, I had a show there in a little museum, the Robbie Museum. And, you know, there was this curator of a Swiss bank, you know, and he was openly accusing me of how disgusting my work was.
Oh my God!
Yeah, really, in front of everybody.
Oh my God!
I mean, I was proud, you know. And, I mean, I was proud of my position because I thought, you know, I had a feeling of telling something, you know.
Yeah, something powerful.
You know what I'm saying? I had a mission in a way. You understand? And I was a bit like everybody knew about my paintings. You know, my work was shot, but I was also hated, you know, because they said this is too much. This is you know, we are not. I didn't get any shows for certain things. There were many shows also in the beginning of the 90s here in Switzerland and everywhere about the body, you know. And my paintings were also about the body, but I was never included in those shows. You know, there were other people involved which had nothing to do with the body, as I had. You know, but they had all, you know, but you can. Everybody had something to say also about the body. You can, you know, photographer took body photograph. So all these museums took all the people which have, you know, they were on a certain level and already appreciated. And so, you know, everybody has something about the body, you know, so you made these body shows, but my body was never included, you know. But you know what I'm saying?
Yours were compelling in a different way.
But it will change probably one time also, you know. But it's, you know, it's like, but, you know, I developed also, you know, I went through these phases, and some collectors, they are just, you know, they have this work from the 80s and they appreciate it, you know, they said that was the period which was, you know, and we don't like the new stuff, or I don't know what.
So what you're saying is that every period of time, as one ages, as one grows older and more experienced, is a different, you're a different person.
Yes.
Yes, that absolutely is the case.
Yeah,
you change because, you know, when you're young, and you're, you know, in your full force or powers, you know, you're producing different kind of work, you know, than you do later, just because, you know, you're somewhat immortal, you know, and you have so much energy to bring to the, you know, to the equation, and you have so much time, you know, and it is something different than, you know, there's different assessments that you make at different times in your life relative to, you know, power and longevity.
I need 40 more years, guys.
We all do.
I need 40 more years at least.
But Goya, look at Goya, you know, did his black paintings at the end of his life, you know. I mean, painters have been incredibly productive late in life.
Right.
You know, Matisse, even though he was bedridden, you know.
And Alex Katz.
Alex Katz is still working, you know. I mean, so is Jasper Johns.
Well, I think that it was fascinating to hear, Hans, what you were saying. And I think that it takes an incredible amount of courage and insight to be able to really paint what you're feeling. And paint, that doesn't matter, you know, all those feelings aren't pretty, but to be able to get that out really tremendous amount of courage. And in addition to courage, you're so talented. So I think that a lot of people really at that period of time, I'm sure they really appreciated, you know, and now still do appreciate that kind of, you know, wisdom and courage and I think that's what's great about art, is that we can see things about each other that it's another language, you know, it's another way of communicating.
No, absolutely. I mean, you know, the work was always considered as a good work, you know, when I showed, you know, I had a couple of shows and I got many really attention because the paintings were convincing.
Yes.
You understand? They said they are good paintings. The subject is abhorrent and ugly, and but they are good paintings, you know. Exactly. So I got always very good reviews in that sense, you know. And at that time, you know, I was also, I mean, I was more, I mean, I'm still political in a sense, but you know, at that time, you know, the whole image, body image, you know, which maybe is more a theme with women, you know, and body shaming and how you have to look. I mean, that was all what went through my mind, that was my base to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. It was very political in that sense.
Yeah.
Simple, you know. And I had a rage also, and so on, you know. But I had also, I was also self-critical. I made one time a portrait, which the title was "Young Arrogant Painter." You know, you know, you know what I'm saying? I didn't depict me as the great guy in that sense. You know, I made fun of myself also. You know.
What was the title again? Young what?
A young arrogant painter. A young arrogant painter, you know, one of the and so, you know, and so
self-deprecating.
Yeah, you know, exactly.
I don't know. I think that if your art can say things about how you're feeling, which I think all of our art does, and connect with people, I think that that is magnificent.
Well,
and
that's just it, Marie. I think to connect is something that is very hard to do. It has to speak to you in a very visceral way. And pretty paintings don't do it. You know, angry or I'm sure I'm wrong in this. No, pretty paintings don't do it, and I'll stop with that. It's got to be something from you, be it disturbing, compelling, but it can't be pretty. It has to be awe-inspiring.
I don't agree with that. I think that, yeah, I think pretty. I think that every emotion that we feel is valid, and this is, you know, just another way of expressing ourselves. And I think that
you can. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Marie. I just
don't mean to talk too much. I'm just saying that it's fascinating because we're talking about how we enter a piece, and that is totally different than how somebody perceives our piece.
That's true.
So
you know, also if you replace the word pretty, let's say, with beautiful, you know, because you know, pretty sort of implies, you know, cosmetic or lightweight.
Yeah. Pretty is
but
not
there's
beautiful.
certainly nothing
Pretty
wrong with beautiful, you know, because beautiful can be sublime. You know,
totally.
Beautiful,
totally.
you know, it can be frightening, you know.
The sublime.
Yes, that's the point, exactly.
This has been an eye-opener. Thank you.
Marcia, how do you enter paintings?
Oh, by the skin of my pants.
By
the seat of my pants, I should say. I am now obsessing over an angle that I saw in the Picasso Museum in Paris. I say, how would I paint that in a viable painting? It's just 2 lines. What am I going to do with it? What the hell am I going to do with it? I don't have the understanding of what to do with it, but I'm probably going to use that as a springboard. I don't know where it's going to take me, but I keep thinking about those 2 lines. And it was 2 old beams. They must have been about 500 years old. They must have found them in a garbage heap when they redid the museum. And I mean, I just looked at it and said, wow. I mean, that is like the life force. That is like, it was just a wow. And it was 2 lines on a wall. 2 beams that were holding up a wall. And I couldn't get over it. So talk about a simple mind. Anyway,
I think that's what both Mark and Hans are saying, is that when they see something, they see things.
It's a sense of wonder.
That's really,
you know, it's like last week we were looking at Alex Katz.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And I mentioned, because I've always thought this about Alex Katz, his paintings are exactly about what he's seeing. He sees something and then he reduces it, you know, to somehow to its essence and his style and the way he expresses it with, you know, his brushstrokes. But it always begins with, you know, some tree at night with, you know, the lights of Manhattan sparkling through the tree, you know. And and you can see what he's seeing, that he's, you know, it's from the real world. And I think that's important, you know, to note what you're seeing, to note those special arrangements, juxtapositions, moments, whatever it is that, you know.
You know, he has not a distorted view. You know what I'm saying? He has, I had always a distorted view, you could say, because I was a psychological painter.
Yes.
You know, of course, I saw the reality too, but I saw different things than what you consider to be reality, you know. And he really, well, that's good explained, Mark, where he sees the thing, you know, as it is. That's, I mean, that's also already art, because I would love to see things how they really are. You know what I'm saying? And I hear difficulties, you know, to see it. You know?
But I love that. I mean, maybe that's our job as painters, is to see things and then to translate those so other people can see those as well. You know, maybe we're capturing like two beams that are fascinating, or the sky and the awe, you know, the clouds, and and maybe we're capturing those moments and sharing those as we, and maybe that's what our mission is.
I think what's great and what's interesting is that painting can accommodate all of those aspects of us, you know, of human beings. What we see, whether it's out there and we somehow have this God or spiritual, you know, awakening or godly experience, you know, of something, or whether it's deeply, deeply personal and psychological. And painting is, you know, a venue or a platform from which all of that can be expressed. You know, any place on that human spectrum, you know, if it's if it's in the hands of an artist, you know, of a person that is focused and committed to, you know, that the medium, let's say, it can accommodate any aspect of being human.
Mark, where did you saw the Sargent show?
Yes.
What else did you see while you were up there, while you were in the city?
Oh,
did you see Rashid Johnson? Yeah, did you see?
I didn't see the Rashid Johnson. No.
I'm going to see it tomorrow.
I saw a couple of, you know, okay shows that weren't that exciting. I went to a few galleries on the Upper East Side at that time that I went to see this Sargent. But
yeah, you were there already.
You know what? I have to think, because it was nothing that, you know, it's always great to see paintings, you know, and art, but I can't think of anything that I would recommend necessarily. There's a guy named Miguel Barcelo. Remember him, the Spanish artist from the 80s, I think, late 80s. He had a show at on 79th somewhere. Very decorative. It was, you know, he was very good. He can manipulate, his paintings have a look, but they were just so decorative. I couldn't stand them. I just, very, very good. Manipulate the medium, interesting, but boring paintings. I don't know.
Somebody told me to go to MoMA. Whitten, W-H.
Yeah.
Oh,
did you go?
I went and I showed you the photographs.
Yeah, I went. I saw it.
Oh, that's a fabulous show.
It is. It's very interesting. Yeah, he was very interesting.
A hard-working painter.
Oh, unbelievably ambitious.
Unbelievable.
More ambitious than Marie.
That's easy.
Very physical, very arduous.
Very physical.
Very prolific.
Marie, you would like this show.
Yeah,
I want to see it if you can.
Up there for a day or two.
You would like it.
Are you coming up?
Yeah, just for a day.
Oh, if you can go, I think I would recommend seeing it.
Hilda af Klimt is there also, but I don't want to see her.
They're watercolors, basically. They're small format.
Oh, they're small?
Yeah.
Not the stuff that we saw in the Guggenheim?
All works on paper, small, like like that big,
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't spend time in it.
He's on another plane of existence. She's in the clouds somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the Whitten show is absolutely not to be missed.
Oh, great. Okay.
And to read the legends, too, is very important, to see his process.
It's not all, it takes, for me, it took him a long time to arrive at his, he was always ambitious and always good, right?
Yeah.
And, he was doing the work, on a big scale. But it took him a long time to find his own voice.
Yes.
So it was really the later rooms that for me were really compelling, where he found his thing,
Yeah. But with it all, I think given the period that he was working in, he was not resentful of being a Black man in a white man's world. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that at all. He was just a struggling artist trying to do his thing and doing it well. But he wasn't resentful of being a Black man in a white man's world.
The work wasn't political at the beginning. It became, I don't want to say overtly political, but it became, I mean, his themes were, about great Black persons in his day and earlier, but, Martin Luther King, his painting would be dedicated.
Yeah, but somehow
So he took on certain themes that were African or, themes that were important to Black African Americans. But
no rage.
No rage.
No,
because you know why? He was accepted into that world, of the downtown, art scene. I mean, he was part of it. So, yeah. It was, for him, it was a great place to be, I guess.
It's a wonderful show, not to be missed.
Yeah, it's worth seeing. He was good. Very good.
Very good. And those rake paintings particularly.
Which ones?
The rake paintings.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, yeah, it's definitely worth a show. But it was way too big for me.
Oh, gosh.
That show, unfortunately, they felt that it had to be this humongous,
humongous
life retrospective. For me, that could have been distilled into a much more cohesive, easier. I don't want to say easy, because that's not the point, but
apprehendable,
a better show.
Oh,
just by cutting out. Yeah, there was too much for me.
There was a lot there. I mean, I came out, I was dizzy. And for me,
too much.
After that, I didn't go to another floor because I was so sated with objects and images, particularly his fetishes. The fetishes.
Fetishes are great.
They just blew me away.
They're very good.
They blew me away.
Absolutely.
So, it was a very big show.
Yeah, I mean, the fetishes, the fetishes are, we've looked at them before. I know we're talking now, we're not using images for our audience. So too bad, audience.
We showed it a few weeks ago.
The fetishes are sculptural objects that refer to, African fetishes with, nails and, all, manner of stuff, attached to these objects. And I think those were, very much who he was, and very successful from the get-go, because he didn't feel like he needed to either be a minimalist, or deal with the kind of painting, what's the word? With
strictures.
Yeah, exactly. Strictures and structures, of, thinking of the day. So it's like he had to go through this minimalist phase, you know what I mean? Or with, process phase, raking the paint across the canvas, or this or that or the other, that were all about surface, how to paint, what to paint. He had to get through that. It took him a long time. The fetishes it was always there. It was always immediate. This is an object, stuff on it. You know what I mean? It was more coherent than his experiments in painting, for me.
They were extraordinary.
He had to work through all of that stuff and drop it in the end. Yeah, he took a lot from it, yes, but he had to basically work through it and discard it. It wasn't his language. Whereas the fetishes were his language in some strange way. He had a connection to them from the beginning. That's my take.
Yeah, that's pretty good summary of that. It was they just blew me away.
Yeah.
They really did.
But it's a good show, Marie. You should see it.
I will. Thanks.
So I hope that Cliff is joining soon, that we can have the whole thing, Mark, to see.
Sure. Yeah, we will. We will.
Beautiful
It
work.
would be really great.
Thank you. I have to actually assemble a better presentation.
Okay.
I just threw some stuff, so we'll do it, and we'll do it soon.
How soon?
I don't know. Soon enough. Soon enough.
Okay.
Not sooner than next Thursday.
No,
but,
right, exactly.
Yeah. And then we are very excited to see then maybe the wall, Mary.
Yes.
In the next session.
Thinking about
when's that actually going to go up on the wall? Is that going to happen?
I don't know. Have to.
When you're
that will be exciting for the viewers also to see.
But Marie, you took a huge, huge, huge step, and really is good.
Thank you. Thanks for all your support and your help.
And get a 12-foot ladder. Get a 12-foot ladder or scaffold and take a picture of the whole thing.
Now I really want to come to Florida.
There you go.
I want to see this thing. I really do.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, you're always invited.
Thank you.
So I hope the viewers enjoyed our show. And I think we are done for today, right?
Yeah. Thanks.
And we see you next Thursday.
See you next Thursday.
Correct.
Bye, everyone.